Hi, my name is Clare Robinson and I'm happy to be here with all of you this morning. I myself am a recent Trinity graduate. I graduated in 2011 from our beautiful campus. And then I decided that I wanted to take my education and really do something impactful. So I decided to join Teach for America, and I taught for 2 years as a 9th grade English teacher in Miami. What I want to do is quickly share a bit of a story with you guys, just to explain a bit of why I'm here today, and I think to expose you to something that some of you might not be familiar with. So I want to tell you quickly about one of my students that I had when I was a teacher, and his name is Kevin. Kevin, I quickly found out, was a student that was not exactly prepared to enter high school. Kevin was a 15-year-old that I had in my class, and he was reading at about a 5th grade reading level, which we all know certainly does not mean that Kevin was ready to enter my 9th grade classroom. Kevin had been told throughout the course of his life that education doesn't matter. Education isn't going to take you anywhere, and by the time he was in high school, he was constantly told that by this point, Kevin, you might as well give up because you're so far behind. And after hearing that, Kevin had completely given up on high school. He decided high school wasn't going to matter, high school wasn't going to get him anywhere, and he wasn't motivated at all to do any of the work that I provided in class. After constantly reminding all of my 9th grade students, Kevin included, that they would achieve at high levels in my class, that they can do anything that they set their mind to, and that I personally, as their teacher, believe in them 100%, Kevin would continue to look at me in disbelief at the end of every class. I would constantly hear him muttering under his breath, "Everybody knows that students in Overtown can't go anywhere. They know we can't achieve. Would they know we're all stupid?" With Kevin constantly saying things like this to both me and other students in my classroom, I wondered, what am I going to say to him? When the statistics say that in Overtown, the neighborhood that I taught in, only 45% of students would graduate from high school, and less than 10% of the adult population had a college degree. This was the environment that Kevin was growing up in, and this was the environment that I was teaching in for 2 years. My challenge as a teacher was, how am I going to get these students to care? How am I going to motivate them? And how am I going to get my students to believe that they can and will achieve? My story of Kevin and students that sat in my classroom besides him is just one of a number of stories that fill classrooms across this country. And this is part of the reason that I'm here to talk to you today about Teach for America. Teach for America is an organization that seeks to solve and one day to eliminate this problem. What Teach for America does is it recruits and then gets young adults involved in the classrooms and engages students in teaching for 2 years in often what are low performing or underperforming classrooms. This is a tremendous undertaking, but I can tell you personally that it's one of the most rewarding things that you can ever do. And as Trinity graduates, you will be more than prepared to take on this challenge of empowering and inspiring students in classrooms all across this country. So why is there such a need for Teach for America? As I showed you in my story, there are students everywhere who are underprepared because of the education that they've had, and it's our responsibility as educated college students to share the wealth of knowledge that we have with students that are in classrooms across the country that may not have the privilege to attend awesome colleges like the one we attend. Okay, and last but not least, I want to show you and prove to you that Teach for America absolutely can be part of the solution to this problem. So I told you about Kevin, and I had quite a few other students as well, but Kevin was one of 3 students that came back to my classroom at the beginning of this year. I obviously had a new set of 9th grade students, and Kevin is now a 10th grader with some of his fellow classmates. And Kevin and 2 other young students came back, and they presented to my current 9th grade students. And Kevin said something very powerful to them. He said, "I know you guys are going to think that Miss Robinson is a really strict teacher. I know you're going to think that her classwork is really tough and that you can't do it. But I want you guys to know that Ms. Robinson believes that you can learn. She believes that you can achieve, and by the end of the year, you're going to believe that you can achieve too." When I heard Kevin say these things to my current 9th grade students, I knew that me, as a teacher, I had been part of the solution. I have changed the life of a student forever. Kevin is now a student who shares his story proudly with other students in high school. He now firmly believes that not only is education important, but he one day will be a college-bound student. So I want all of you to know that achievement is possible. And not only that, but you can become part of the solution, and I hope you consider that by looking into Teach for America or considering to apply for Teach for America as well. Right? So I'd love to talk to any one of you personally. If you have any questions about the presentation, any questions about Teach for America or what it looks like to apply, I'll be at the front right after the presentation. Again, I'd love to chat with any of you. I'll also have my contact information. Okay, so feel free to visit me in the front. I look forward to speaking with all of you. Thank you so much.